Hello, everyone, and good morning, and welcome to Notary Academy and Tuesday's training. We have a very special guest with us today, and we're so excited to learn all about her business and the tools that she can bring to us to make our notary business more successful. Ms. Sue Hope from Notary Assist. She is going to go over her program with us, and then at the end, if you have questions, we will do a Q&A. You can put your questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand. This session will last about an hour today, and Ms. Sue, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Miss Kimberly, Miss Laura, and everyone with Notary Academy. I'm just super excited to be here and getting to wake up with you guys on a Tuesday. I mean, I love it. So, and we get to talk about all things notary, which I'm kind of a notary nerd and I kind of love it. So hopefully you guys are going to have a good time with me as well. So thank you so very much for having me. For those that don't know me, my name is Sue Hope and I'm from California. I've been a California commissioned notary public since 1999. We don't need to do the math. There's a lot in there, but I love being a notary, but I got started actually from my employer. My employer sent me to get my notary commission. I had no idea what a notary was until I took a Saturday class for 6 hours, took my little test, and I quickly started doing notaries in-house. So I worked for a real estate investment trust or a REIT. My employer did shopping centers. So we did a lot of malls, we did a lot of development. So I got to see construction documents, which kind of is another little caveat or a niche inside of the notary community, because you couldn't always stamp the blueprints. So you had to do something slightly different. So that's how I got introduced to being a notary. I had no idea that you could leverage your commission to make money outside of the 9 to 5. I just thought this is what notaries did. They got hired by companies and you worked there. When I left that job to be a full-time CEO and CFO of MOM, the mom business, I took my commission with me and it promptly went straight into the closet and I didn't do anything with it for a good 6 to 8 months. Had no idea. What switched it all over is we refinanced back in the boom of, the early 2000s, and we had a great notary come to our home, set up shop, and I kind of laid out everything, and we had my licenses and pens ready for her. And she came in, she goes, "By any chance, are you a notary?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." So we kind of hit it off, and she actually introduced me to loan signings, and she became my mentor before it was cool to be a mentor. And she actually was an escrow officer. So I got super lucky. I was just blessed to be connected with an amazing lady who just helped take care of me and taught me what I needed to know from the escrow side of things. So I got to know what the escrow officers went through. I had no clue. So it was awesome to get started. But what I realized very quickly as a newbie is you juggle a lot of hats. You do a lot of work. Everything from needing to know when your checks come in to how do I deposit my money? How do I do this? How many miles? Let's just put it this way. I left a lot of money on the table the first few years of my business because I just didn't know. And there wasn't a whole lot of resources out there at that time to get the information. So I was kind of falling into many potholes, if you can imagine, as I was trying to make my way in my notary business. So I just happened to be blessed to have an amazing husband. He's a software engineer. So he saw me struggling to manage all these things. And for me, I don't know about y'all, but QuickBooks and Peachtree. Okay, see there, I just dated myself. Peachtree, I don't even know if it's still around, but those were the big accounting softwares available to try and just help keep everything organized. And they were over my head. Okay, I am not an accountant. I am not a tax professional. They just didn't make sense. And I just wanted something that was basic, short, sweet, and to the point, keeping it simple, right? I just wanted to know how much money was I making? How many miles was I driving? I wanted to know who had paid me, who hadn't paid me. I wanted to be professional because I felt like I'm the CEO of my new company, and I was Sue Hope, Notary Public. I didn't have a fancy LLC. I didn't have a fancy S Corp, nothing. I was just brand new out in the world trying to make my money, and there wasn't anything available. So Notary Assist kind of was born from a need that I needed to feel more professional and more in control. I hated overbooking myself or double booking myself, because if I had carpool pickup that day and I needed to be here, oh, it was terrible. And then you're juggling and you're stressing and pulling your hair out. And I just didn't want that. So we came up with something that we thought could really benefit the newbie and the seasoned professional all in one. So just basically putting something together where it's all in one place, so you wouldn't have to actually lose money because you had to turn down jobs to do your taxes at the end of the year. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not very good with a calculator. And if I have to go down one page and tally, 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 and flip the page, I've already lost where I was on page one, and I would have to recalculate multiple times. I'm not very good when it comes to that, but I have other things that I'm good at. So I decided let's put my strengths this way, and I'll take my weaknesses and let somebody else do my weaknesses. So Notary Assist was born, and basically in a nutshell, Notary Assist is a management, organization, and marketing tool that notaries can use to really elevate their business. But not only are they elevating it, they're just helping you stay organized so that the stress level can go down. Because I don't know about you all, but you probably didn't become a notary to do all your bookkeeping. You became a notary probably because you want to help people. You want to move the needle. You want to be that hinge that swings big doors, whether it's an adoption of a new child, whether it's getting final affairs in order, or anything in between. We are incredibly important. And I get really sad when people say, I'm just the notary. No, you are the amazing glue that keeps everything together. You are the catalyst of what can happen. Without us, things don't happen. So we are incredibly important. So I always like to emphasize we are not just a notary. So with that being said, I feel like notaries, especially now with AI, we are becoming even more crucial to deter fraud, to prevent things that are happening. So let's all work together to elevate our station and the information around our station, so that others also look at us as the essential professionals that we are. And by doing that, we elevate everybody, and then all of our little commissions across our different country can go from $2 in some states to elevate them closer to 15, like we are here in California. And even California is looking at trying to elevate that price. So I truly feel that the more professional we are as a community, the more people will take us seriously. So with that being said, Notary Assist is here to elevate your notary business and to keep you very organized so that you can look professional, not only before the signing table, at the signing table, and well after the signing table. So what is Notary Assist? Notary Assist is a software solution. It's a suite that we have developed that can help you organize your business. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I got to go find my little button. Okay. And let me know if you can see Jane Notary. Can you see Jane Notary? Am I getting like thumbs up and nods?
Yes,
Yay, I
we can see
love
it.
that. Thank you for the interaction, because you can never tell on Zoom. So thank you so much. And you know what? There's a little reaction button down in the bottom. So if there's something that I'm saying, you can give me a little cheer or whatever. I can tell that you like something. So yay. Oh, I love the hearts. Thank you, Audra. Okay, so here's Jane Notary, and this is the dashboard. So when you first start, you're not going to have anything in here. So it's going to look more like this. So Jane has been with me for years. So when you first get started, it might look like this. There's no information in it. That's okay. But Notary Assist, as you start putting information into it, is going to grow and it's going to show you your book of business. When you land on the dashboard, this is going to be a visual profit and loss. So your top is going to show you the number of signings appointments that you've had in each particular month, or you can even flip it to the amount of dollars that you've made that particular month. So you can flip it. And let's say you're not sure if you want to flip it, but you can hover over it. And if you hover, it'll tell you how many signings it took you to get to that 10,000. So it's just a nice little widget that you can have to visually see how much revenue you've generated versus the pie chart, how many expenses you have. Well, this is your basic profit and loss. This is what your health meter is for any business. And yes, you guys are now businesses, whether you're just doing your business as Sue Hope Notary Public, or you are Notary Academy LLC running, you know, a ton of different things. So you have to put your nice little business hat on and you have to think like a business. What's the first thing we need to do besides getting organized? You need to figure out how to have your own bank account. When you get paid, you want to make sure you've got a separate bank account. It doesn't have to be a business bank account. You can actually open up another Sue Hope business. You can open up another personal account that says Sue Hope. And I highly recommend that. So this way your whoever's hiring you can pay you, and you're keeping your funds away from your personal day-to-day transactions. You do not want to be getting paid into the same account that you're paying your mortgage, your rent, your gas, all that stuff. You want it completely separate. You want your business over here and you want your personal over here. And that's how you want to think about things. So we want to record all the different types of work that we're doing. One thing that Notary Assist does that no other software is doing right now is we have the Business Center. Well, what's the Business Center, Sue? Well, it is a special profile that you can use to set up the type of work that you do. Every single one of us is going to run their business completely differently. I'm going to run it differently than Kimberly. Kimberly's going to run it differently than Laura, and so on and so on. We're as unique as our fingerprints. So you need to tailor Notary Assist to what services you offer. Now, if I'm going to do loan signings, that's awesome. But maybe I'm not going to do loan signings. If I don't want to do loan signings and that's not your jam, no problem. Turn it off. If you want to do loan signings, but you don't really care about what types of loans you do, you can turn it on and say, you know what? I just want to do general loan signing work. And don't worry about all the different categories that can be underneath it. But if you really want to drill down into everything, you can actually select from our suggestions. Sorry, it's a little tongue tied. From your we have suggestions, and we show you all the different types of loans that you might come across that you might be a part of, whether it's an investment property, whether it's a commercial, whether it's reverse, whether it's VA, you name it. There's a whole bunch of loans in here. So you can turn on as many as you would like. Now, I don't recommend you come through and go, if you're brand new, turn them all on, because that's going to overload you. So don't worry about it. Start small. You can always add anytime you need to. But Sue, what if there's not a type of loan that I do? Or maybe you call it something different and I don't use those terms because every state might be slightly different. No worries. You can add your own type of work. So you can determine what category it's going to be in, because we break our revenue into 3 different categories, and you can call it whatever you would like. So you can actually create your own category or your own title of the type of work you want. So once you have what you want to do, the types of work that you want to perform, all listed in Notary Assist, you can actually start telling us the default fees that you charge for those particular services. Now, if you're doing a lot of loan signing work, you might not know, and that's okay. You can leave these blank. But for example, something like a reverse mortgage, for example, sometimes we know exactly how much we're going to get for a reverse mortgage because we can negotiate for that up front. So if you put in the total amount that you are going to charge, Notary Assist will remember that. And anytime you select that you're doing an appointment for a reverse mortgage, Notary Assist will automatically drop in that default fee. If you get paid more, or you get paid different, you can always modify that fee at a later time, but this will automatically fill it in. We're just trying to help populate fields so you don't have to do it all manually by yourself. Another handy feature that we've expanded on is time management. I don't know about y'all, but I need a calendar and I need to know down to the minute how many minutes it's going to take me to travel. I need to know how long it's going to take in each appointment. And if I'm sharing my calendar, and some cool signing services actually will look at your Google Calendar and see when you're available, sometimes they'll drop in an appointment for you automatically. So if you're sharing these kind of things, time. So you can actually So you don't want to default it for 1 hour when it can take you only 15 minutes. So you can actually optimize your duration of time. And again, Notary Assist will block it out in your calendar. So we've talked about loan signing work, but notaries are so awesome. We are doing so many things. So not only do we do loan signings, but we might also do what we call specialty general notary work. Now, this can be anything from, like I said, adoptions, I-9 forms. California, we can't do I-9 forms, but other states we can. If you're a prison or a jail notary, if you're doing divorce documents, again, we're going to actually show you some suggestions. If you don't want to break them down, you don't have to. You can just call it general notary work and move on. That's okay. But if you do want to break it down so you can see the analytics after the fact, you can actually declare some of the different types. Here's my blueprint. See, there's my blueprints of construction. That's from my newbie days. But you might also need to be doing financial documents, healthcare directives. You might be a hospital or an assisted living notary that specializes in going to those establishments. Powers of attorney, you work with different attorneys that are generating these documents. Title transfers, tow yard, releasing, proving that the vehicle is actually that the owners to release it, and so much more. But again, if we don't have something that you are specializing in, just create it over here. You can create it, tell us what category you want it in, and you'll get access to all of these default fees, the default times, and so forth. But it doesn't stop there. Notaries are doing so much more. Now, you guys, because you have been fingerprinted, background checked, you've gone through the rigorous 6-hour training. Now we might actually have an opportunity to do other things with our commission. We might be able to be a coach or a mentor to teach other notaries how to be more professional or how to be more confident in their skill set. We might actually start doing fingerprinting. We might be process servers, permit runners, field inspectors are huge right now. Again, we show you some suggestions of different things that we see notaries doing across the country. Mystery shoppers, tutors, you name it. You guys are doing so much. You can actually add any type of work under other. What's cool about this section, since it doesn't have to necessarily fall underneath the notary umbrella, Notary Assist understands that you might need to keep these separated for your taxes. So anything that's an other type of work is going to generate different reports and different income, different expenses, so that when you do your taxes, your tax professional is going to be super happy to see your notary works in one area and all your other revenue streams are in another. So you're not commingling funds. So this makes doing your tax so much easier. So this might look overwhelming, but if you take the few minutes to set up the business profile for all the different types of work that you do, now you've got a custom tailored notary software solution that's ready for your business. And it's everything that you offer. Once you're done building out your profile, you can actually start seeing the types of work broken down. And I'll come back to the analytics side of things in a minute, but we're going to actually show you in real time, how many adoptions did you do? How many reverse mortgages did you do? How many hospital signings did you do? How much revenue did you generate from each one of these types of work? And are you hitting the numbers that you need to make your business as healthy as possible? And if not, why? It might show that while adoptions are going down in your area, reverse mortgages are going up. Now, if you have to take continuing education, you can actually invest in the right things that are beneficial for your business. So now you can become the reverse mortgage professional in your area. That sets you apart from a sea of notaries. Now you're taking the time to actually invest in yourself, and you're doing it based on the numbers. So you're more likely to succeed and not strap your business. Okay. So now that we've set up Notary Assist and we've gotten everything ready to start taking on appointments, what does this mean, Sue? Well, Notary Assist keeps track of a calendar. Most accounting services do not offer calendaring, but you know what? I live and die by my calendar. I need to know where I am, when I'm going to be there, what time. So Notary Assist will incorporate a calendar. So you can see your month, your week, or your day in one view. Do you need to add an appointment for 10 a.m. on August 20th? No problem. Just click on 10 a.m. and we're going to pull up our data entry sheet. This data entry sheet is how you're going to put in the details of each appointment that you're going to be scheduling. The type of work is right here at the top. The business center is where we created this list, and I only turned on what I want to turn on. So I'm only going to see what I am going to be doing. So if I have an appointment for an adoption, I can select that I'm doing it for an adoption. If I'm doing it for a refinance, I'm going to select refinance, and so on. At the top, it's going to automatically fill because we selected 10 a.m. at August 20th. It's going to do August 20th, 10 a.m. The duration, if I had anything associated with the adoption, would automatically pre-fill. Otherwise, you can select it, or if you don't put anything in here, Notary Assist will block out 1 hour. So by default, every appointment in Notary Assist will be 1 hour. Amount, the amount that you're going to be paid by your customer. This is what's going into this field. This is the check that you're expecting to receive, or the payment that you're expecting to receive. Your customer is who's paying you. Now, this could be for general and specialty notary work. This might also be the signer. But we're going to add our customers into our database so that we can keep in touch with them after the fact. Because every appointment is not just an appointment and moving on. Every appointment, opportunity to grow your business. You might actually be across the signing table from your next most amazing client. So you want to put that client into the customer if you want to keep that database right here. If it's a loan signing, you might actually be hired by Amrock or a signing service. So you can actually put your information in right here. When you're doing signing services, you might have multiple escrow officers at any particular company. For example, Amrock, they work with a couple, and then there's also accounting, because Betty is going to be your contact for the documents and any questions that you might have, but the accounting wants to get your invoice. So we have the ability to switch up who you're talking with. We can go into more detail about that down the road. Order number is going to be an escrow number, or it's going to be a number that designates your general notary signing. This is a great place to put a phone number, because phone numbers are usually unique identifiers. So if you're doing general notary work, put their phone number right here. You can search on the escrow order number if you need to get a hold of them quickly and you can't remember their last name, but you might not remember their phone number, but you can find it. Signer is going to be who's actually signing the document, and who are you witnessing? Who are you taking care of at this particular appointment? We can't do RON here in California, but a lot of our states, if you're doing a RON appointment and you're not going to be traveling and you don't need to know how many miles you're going, you can say, yes, this is a RON appointment. I don't need to drive anywhere. I'm going to sit right here in my living room and I'm going to notarize this packet. So I don't need to worry about mileage. But for everyone else, California, we can't do it for about 10 years. So it's going to be a hot second before we can do it. We are connected with Google. So if we start typing in, it's going to try and find the location where we're going. You select it from the drop-down box. It will auto-fill that for you. This really helps not show up at the wrong place. I've done that before. So this will help you find an address. If you can't find the address in the drop-down box, double check your order. You might have missed a number. So this will try and help you. Notary Assist will then auto calculate. For me, I have it set up on auto calculate. I'll show you how that is to calculate your mileage from your start location to the signing location and back, because we want to track all those miles. That's super important. Contact information is going to be if you have any co-signers or additional signers associated with this closing. Invoice, yes, you can generate an invoice. I think that's a professional thing. We want to make sure we get paid for this appointment that we just did. So we can actually generate an invoice. We can mark when we sent it. We can mark when we received payment. And even if for some reason you only got a partial payment, let's say the signer had to cancel after you printed the documents and after you drove all the way over there, you might get a partial payment. So you can actually receive a partial payment. Tracking. This is one of my favorite sections. This is where we get into the thick of it for our special tax deductions. So we're going to ask you, how many documents did you look at that particular closing? How many notarial acts did you perform? Some states are by stamp, other states are by signature. So depending on where you are, you can fill in, this is the number of certificates, but how many notarial acts? Did I have 2 signers? So I might have done 5 certificates, but there were 2 signers. So I did 10 signatures or 10 notarial acts. And what's the notarial fee value? Okay, so what does this mean? This is not the amount that I'm paid for the closing. This is the amount, if I'm taking that same example, if I did 5 and 10 for California, I'm only licensed in California, so I can't tell you anybody else. But in California, my notarial fee value for this would be, oh no, it's not. I was going off $10. Oh yeah, that's right. 150, right? Yeah, 15 times 10, that's 150. Okay. So this is my notarial value, but let's say I'm getting paid $200. So I'm getting paid $200, but my notarial value is 150. This is all about the self-employment tax exemption that we are eligible to exercise should we choose to. I've used a lot of words there. I'm not a tax professional, but you need to talk with your tax professional to see if it's best for you to exercise this exemption or not, because everybody's tax situation is unique. But we do, as notaries public, we do have a self-employment tax exemption that we can exercise when we file our taxes. And we can talk about that in a minute. Tracking number, if you have to ship anything, if you're an apostille facilitator, you have to send documents out. This would be the tracking number associated with the overnight package. How did I send it? Did I send it UPS, FedEx? If I'm doing a general notary work, I might have left it with the client. Did I take it back to escrow? These are things that will help remind you if you have to keep track of more mileage. This is just helping you remember what happened at this particular appointment. Total miles, we can either put in our total miles or Notary Assist will calculate it for you. And I will show you how to set that up. Notes are going to be anything that you want to help remember. You can put these here so that you can keep track of what happened at this particular closing. Once you add it to your signing, or once you add it to your calendar, you actually can see your calendar in multiple different views. I'm coming back to 2021. So you can either see it in a spreadsheet view, or you can see it on your calendar and your calendar will reflect it with a little blue tag. I'm trying to get to, I got to go way back. She's been slacking. Jane's been slacking in 2024. So terrible. But you'll see, there you go. So there you go. There's how it'll be displayed in your calendar. If you need to get in and make any changes, you just click on the blue dot. Now you're right back into that signing. You can make any edits, make any changes, mark it paid. This little confirmation button comes up. What does that mean, Sue? Well, we had a lot of questions asking if we could help remind our users that they need to confirm that appointment. So yes, we actually made a button that stands out in blue until you confirm it. And it says, hey, Sue, I haven't confirmed this appointment yet. I have to call as of today, I haven't confirmed the appointment. But if I want to and say, okay, well, at 9:30, I actually called and left a voicemail. At 10, it was the wrong number. So now I know that it was the wrong number. Now I can actually reach back out to whoever assigned me, and they'll get me a new phone number. But I can keep this log of every single time, and then I can go back in, and now it's unconfirmed because it was the wrong number. Now I got a new, we'll say 45. Let's go over here, 45. So at 9:45, I got the right number. I left a voicemail. Now I have a list. I have a log of all the different times I've reached out to my client. This might be handy so that everybody that is hiring you says you didn't get a hold of them and you didn't confirm the appointment. You can actually show this log. Yes, I've been trying to get a hold of this client. I still went over to I went with all the documents at the time that I was supposed to, even though I didn't confirm it, but I just wanted to show you why. This is what I'm trying to be as professional as possible. This is what I did. I wasn't able to. If it is confirmed, you just toggle it on. Yep. Now it's confirmed. It's saved. It's going to now have instead of it being blue, it's going to have a green check mark that says, I have confirmed this appointment. So when you're in the view signings, I'm going to go back here to signings and view signings. I'm going to go to all. There we go. It's going to put a little green check mark right here. So it's blue until you confirm it, and then it's green once it's confirmed. So you can quickly see the appointments you've confirmed and which ones you haven't. That's a new feature. We just added that. We're constantly adding new stuff. So this is the view signings page. Now, this is going to be your data set in a spreadsheet type view instead of a calendar. This is where you can kind of actually get into your signings quickly and find all sorts of details. So for example, I want to know what ones are paid and what ones are unpaid. Well, I can filter this page. So let's say every Tuesday, I'm doing my reconciliations. I'm going through all of my payments. I'm going through all of my work. I want to see what's unpaid because I want to resend anybody that's outstanding I'm expecting payment from. So I can actually filter this and only see what's unpaid. Let's say I need it for 45 days because now I have a client that only pays every 45 days, but I want something that's 45 days and past. I'll go back to this, and then that way I can see these are the ones I actually need to send reminders to because they're past what my my notary agreement is for. What if I need to see, let's go back to all. What if I need to see how many jobs I've done that are sales? Okay, well, let's filter. I've done 27 sales in this time frame. So you can quickly see how many sales. Or let's say there's somebody that calls you and says, "Hey, Sue, remember you did that sale, that buyer's packet? That buyer's packet last week for Drew." Well, now I can go to sales. I can see all of my work for sales, and then I can find Drew. Now I can get into there. Yeah, what do you need? How can I help you? I've got all the details I need right here. So if they have a question, they can say, well, who did you send that to? Well, let me see. I sent it out via FedEx and or UPS, and here's the tracking number. Notary Assist will even go so far as to actually put a clickable link with your tracking number now. So when you click on the tracking number, you can actually track it based on that particular carrier. So if it's FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL, it'll launch to their tracking site and let you know exactly where your packet is. When you're on the road and people are calling you for, hey, where's my docs? It's hard to find that out. So you can now, on your mobile app, you can get in really quick, just click, 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 and you'll be able to say, oh, it's in the mailroom. Donna signed for it. Or it's en route. It says it's going to be delivered by 3 o'clock today. Now you've given them information instead of saying, I have to get back to you because I'm not home. So now you're elevating your communication skills with your client. So settings, we give you lots more settings that you can do and set up Notary Assist. So we were talking about mileage. So we can actually auto calculate. So out of the box, it comes odometer to odometer because the good old IRS loves odometer to odometer. But most people don't like to do odometer to odometer. But if you are one of those people, you have that option. I personally like to have it enter total miles and auto calculate. This is going to tell Notary Assist that I want to start at my start location, which is the address I use when I register, go to the signing location and back. That's my round trip. So in Notary Assist, you can tell that I'm having this auto calculate. So these mileage numbers are coming in automatically based on my start position and where, so I can see what my mileage total is. We also give you all sorts of information. Notary fees, if you're in a state that does both in-person and RON, you can actually put in manually. You can manually enter your notarial fee value because usually the online fee value is higher than in person. So if you need that, we have that. But most of the time, it's going to be automatically calculate unless you're in a state that has no clear definition of how much you can charge. So we have some states that don't even have a set rate. We have some states that are this amount for your first two notarizations and everything after that is this rate. So those would be manual states. But here in California, we're straight across the board. You can do $15 per signature. We'll automatically calculate that if you're in California with a California address. Expense types. Well, part of our business is we have to keep track of expenses, and expenses are anything that's associated with running your business, whether it be your commission, whether it be insurance, whether it be your bond, whether it be paper, pens, stamps, new certificates, whatever, taking a class. So whatever you're spending your money on, you want to have an allocation for your expense types. So inside of Notary Assist, we give you suggestions, and then you can come in and you can actually expand it out. So there's a whole bunch in here for Jane. You can tell I've done a bunch of demos, but we've got dues and subscriptions, like that would be Notary Assist. We have insurance, your commissions. We have your licenses and permission, permits, commissions, meals and entertainment. You're going to get this quote unquote chart of accounts from your tax professional. You're going to ask what categories are tax deductible and what can I put in each category. This allows you to create and work with your tax professional directly. So let's say there's something in Notary Assist that you do not need, simply get rid of it. You can get rid of it by clicking the X, that's the delete X. And if there's something you need, you can just add it and then hit save. And it'll add your new chart of account to yours. This will help you allocate. Now for me, I'm going to go back to the dashboard real quick. You're going to see some automobile expenses in here because Sue Hope needs to know how much I'm spending in gas. But I'm using the mileage rate, the IRS mileage rate, which we use in our reports. So our tax reporting and when we're doing our mileage, we're using the IRS mileage rate. But day to day, week to week, month to month, I need to know how much I'm spending on gas. So I've added a category for gas inside of Notary Assist. It's not tax deductible, but it helps me see if I'm making my numbers. And it helps me see if I'm charging the right amount, because with things changing as quickly as things changed over the last few years, I need to be able to see that. So sometimes having a visual helps me stay on budget. So that's just a suggestion, but I know that I just strike through it when I run my expense report. I just strike through the gas. I just put a big X before I send it over to my tax professional, and they know to just disassociate that gas category because I'm not going to leverage that. I'm going to leverage the IRS mileage rate. Okay, so we have a bunch of different tax reports so that you can see all your income. So we have income broken apart by every customer. So we'll give you an income report at the bottom of the last page of the income report. It's going to show you all the money that you made for that particular year. But what's nice about our report is it's going to break it down by customer. So Amrock, ServiceLink, Notary Academy, whatever, whoever's hiring you to do your work, this makes reconciling your 1099s at the end of the year super easy. So when you run your income report, you're going to see from January 1 to January 30 or December 31, you're going to see how much did I get paid by this particular customer. Should I be expecting a 1099? If it's below $600, you're probably not going to see a 1099 from this particular company. If it's over $600, you very well might see a 1099 from this company. So when you get it in the mail, you can actually look and see, oh, I'm showing this much money, they're showing this much money. And if there's a discrepancy, you can quickly pick up the phone and call that customer and find out why. Usually it's because at the very end of the year, some people are trying to get payments off the books. So if you did a signing in December, like December 28th of 2024, but you didn't receive the check until January 5th of 2025, that's where the discrepancy is going to come in. So it'll help you understand why and where. I know we're talking about a lot of things, but hopefully that's not too terribly confusing, but we are accommodating for all of that. Notary Assist knows that we're mostly cash-based mostly a cash-based companies, which means we pay taxes as we get paid. We're not usually, as the individual notary, we're not usually prepaying taxes every quarter. So if you're an accrual, that's where you're prepaying. If you're cash, you pay as you get paid. So those are, again, terms that you can chat with your tax professional. Okay, we have a profit and loss. We have expense reports, so you can see clearly what you're spending in each category. If you're automobile expense, so the expense report is a detailed version of this pie chart right here. Your tax summary report is going to be the one that helps you with the self-employment tax exempt, or sorry, the tax report is going to be the one that helps you with your self-employment tax exemption. That's going to break down every single one of the appointments that you did in a set time. It's going to show how much you were paid from your customer. It's going to show you your notarial value for that particular appointment. And then it's going to show what to report on your Schedule SE. Okay, that's your self-employment tax schedule. So because we're public servants, we get that $15 in California, that $15 that we are able to charge for a notarial act is exempt from self-employment tax. You're still going to pay income tax on that $15, but you can exercise an exemption on the $15 per notarial act because so I can talk about that a little bit later. How are we all doing? Do I get a thumbs up? I know we're talking about all sorts of stuff, but yeah, yay. Oh, I'm so excited. So one last thing I wanted to kind of go over to kind of show you the excitement of Notary Assist is if you go back to the view signings, look at this little button right here. This button's new. This is the import feature. What is the import feature, Sue? Well, we know that notaries are busy. We're juggling 1,000 things all the time. So we tried to make an assistant for you guys. It's in our name. See, right there. There it is. So the auto import feature allows you to have any confirmation email. You can forward it to import@notaryassist.com. Now it's going to go through our engine, and our engine's going to try and pull out all of these signing details that we were just going through where you had to manually select each one, the date, the time, the customer, the location. If you use the auto import, we're going to try and pull as many of these data points and these fields out for you automatically. So you can populate this entire field, almost this entire field with that information. And Notary Assist is just going to say, hey, you've got some appointments here. Would you like us to import them? And you either hit accept or decline, and it'll pull in your information and list it for you in your list of appointments. What's handy
That's
about
incredible.
that? I
Sorry, Sue.
know,
That is
right?
incredible.
I mean, now you've got an assistant that basically, when I was doing as many appointments as I was doing in the past, all of my accounting was waiting at the end of my desk under a giant pile. I was under a pile of paperwork, and I would just be like, okay, I'll get there eventually. I was just trying to stay up and stay printing and stay this, get on the road, go here, there, that. And that little stack of papers was looking at me at the end of each week or the end of each month, and sometimes the end of every 6 months. There's no judging here. I know I can be procrastinating too. So to try and flip everything on the other way around with the auto import center, if you forward in your email to import@notaryassist.com, it pens on the web app. It's pending right here. I'm only showing you the web app, but we do have mobile apps. Oh, you can't see. There we go. We have mobile apps for both Apple and Android. So you can see this on your mobile app too. But once it comes in here and it gets into here and you accept it, now you have turn-by-turn directions. You have one-touch dialing. You have one-touch text, one-touch email. Now you can leverage all of this data very quickly. You don't have to retype in the address where you're going into your car's GPS. You can just hit the little directional arrow inside your mobile app and it'll take you to the appointment. So you're not doing the double and triple work that we were doing over and over and over again. And by the time you're done with your appointment, there's two fields, just two that you need to fill out. One, how many notarial acts did you perform at that location? And do you need to send an invoice? Done. Now you don't have to wait and do all your accounting in the rear. Now you're doing it in real time, so you can actually see your book of business in real time. So we're super excited. We're trying really hard to stay up with technology and leverage as much of technology as possible and just really help you guys out. I'm a notary. I feel your pain. I see it. And we're offering everything that you see. And there's so much more that I could go into, but we just don't have enough time. Everything is here. It's $95 for the whole year, or it's $8.99 per month. So QuickBooks is available, but it's way more expensive, and that doesn't have all the notary specific features. There's other platforms available, but they're not specific to the notary industry. And there's other notary ones out there, but they're not at the price point that we're at. I understand where notaries understand that they are working as hard as they can. And I want to bring a product with as much value as possible for the least cost possible. I want to help as many notaries as possible. I'd rather have a ton of notaries keeping our point really, really low than just a few notaries and have a really, really high price point. So that's kind of what we are all about. I'm a notary. I'm your fellow community member. I'm here for you. We have phone support, which is unheard of. So we actually have a phone number that you can call and ask questions. If you don't know how to do an invoice, give us a call. We'll help you. And I'm going to say it right here and we'll put it in the chat. 949-713 3570. That's our tech support line. So I'll say it again, 949-713 3570. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Support via email, and there is some text messaging that we can monitor as well. So we're trying to be available to you guys because we know that a lot of work goes on nights and weekends, because that's when people are home and available to get their documents notarized. So hopefully I've answered and kind of given you an overview of so many things. And if there's specific questions, we can kind of do some scenarios. But
so what was the email?
hopefully,
what was the email to send everything over?
Oh, okay. So when you're using the import feature, it's going to be import, IMPORT, at notaryassist.com. And the one little caveat to that is you have to have it come from the same email address that you use when you set up your account. So if you log in with 123notary@notaryacademy.com, you have to forward to import it Notary Assist from that same email.
Okay.
That's how it validates that it's you.
Thank you. And then Lisa, did
Welcome.
you want to ask your question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to unmute. So I have two questions just because I come from a bookkeeping background. My first question was when you showed how you can do the different categories, like let's say you put apostille, you put loan signing, you put general notary work, does it calculate them on your profit and loss as separate line items? I know that you can put the price in, so when you schedule, but when you see your profit and loss, are you going to see, I made, $1,000 on apostille. I made, $10,000 on loan signings.
So
I mean, does it
hopefully
break
this is
that down?
answering your question. This is the business analyst looking for. So for example, I did this many HELOCs, it's this amount. My mileage total to perform those is here, and here's my profit. So this is breaking it all down. Hopefully that's answering or showing you that question. This way you can see the current trends. This is going to be in real time, and each one of these is going to be a different type of service. So let's say I don't want to see weddings and I don't want to see trust documents here, but I want to see these. I want to see these in the refinance or the real estate world. So here's a current market trend. So it's showing what's happening or what was happening in 2021. And if I hide that, it's breaking it all apart. So you can see how much revenue was generated in the refinance market versus the purchase market. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, partly. Is there I know you changed it to a pie chart. Does it show you in a real-time profit and loss? Like what a breakdown of a real-time whole profit and loss of everything?
It will for each one. Yeah, Jane doesn't have any expenses for that particular time period, but yes, you would be able to see this, and then you would see the pie chart over here with your expenses. So yes, you would be able to see a profit and loss for each particular each particular type of work that you set up in Notary Assist. Yes.
All right, thank you. Can I ask one more little question?
Of course, you're not limited.
I don't know if it's little, but for those people that are using other programs, obviously there are other programs in August of this year. My question was about importing, not just importing, current signings for the people that do signing services. Let's say I have a whole, 8 months of a business already on another program. Will it input those numbers, or will I just need to start with the year being, let's say 9/1 or something?
So there's a couple of options for you. And we've had the same scenario. So we've had notaries that are like, oh, I'm just going to keep my book of business and run my reports on the previous platform up until this day. And then I'm just going to move forward on Notary Assist. So I've had notaries do that, but we do have the capability to import data from Notary Gadget. So if you are a Notary Gadget user, we can import Notary Gadget data. If you're on a spreadsheet, we have to look at it to be able to see if the headers can line up, but we do have an importer from Notary Gadget that will get as much data over that they let you export. So there's a zip file. If you're on Notary Gadget has a download all data and files into a .zip format. That .zip file is what we would need to run through our engine. Basically what we do is we take it, we convert it, we line it up, and then we import it into your account. So you would have your book of business from whenever you started with that other or Notary Gadget platform with you all the way up till the current date.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Any other questions? I'm happy to answer or if there's something that you're not sure how to use, I'm happy to show you how that works. We always try to get feedback from our users as well. So we know you guys are in the field, and if there's something that you're doing or that you see that could be beneficial, we love you to hit the feedback button, suggest something, or report a bug if something's not working properly. This goes right to our dev team, and we try to that right away. We also can take phone calls and emails, and people are just as awesome to call us and say, oh gosh, this isn't working. And I'm like, okay, why? And then we find out and we'll get it fixed right away. So just like software, there's sometimes it works just smooth as silk. And then other times it's got a little bumpy road, but hopefully we try to eliminate as many bumps as possible, and get it worked out as quickly as possible.
And then Sue, one more question. Can we reiterate the fees, please?
Absolutely. So Notary Assist is a subscription software, which means it's going to review automatically after each time frame. We have a monthly subscription that's $8.99 per month, and that's billed every 30 days. Or there's an annual subscription that is $95 billed every 365 days. So it's not calendar year, it's from whenever you sign up. So if you signed up today, your renewal would be August 20th of 2025. So it's not like you're billed 95 and then again on January 1. No, it's every 365 days. And there is a free trial. I don't think I actually talked about this yet. So there is a free trial. It's really hard to kind of see a demo until you actually can get your hands into it and touch it and feel it. So there is a free trial. You can, I think there's a link that they have that they're going to share so you can get to our free trial, and there's no credit card needed. You don't have to put in anything other than your name, your address, because we're going to try and figure out if we can do your notary fee calculation automatically for you, and you can get started. And there's a big red subscribe now button. That red subscribe now button means I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to start subscribing, but you will automatically have countdown clock, and it'll be 30 days or 20 new appointments, whichever comes first. Notary Assist will count it down for you. If you put expenses in, that does not count against appointments. The only time that it counts against appointments is when you actually put a new signing in. So if you're doing signing, view signings, add assignment, anytime you fill out this form and hit save, that's what's considered an appointment. But if you're adding your business center, if you're adding customers, if you're adding expenses, those do not count against appointments. Those are just days. So you could actually use the system for 30 days or 20 new appointments, whichever comes first. So if you're a seasoned notary, you're going to go through your trial quickly. And if you're busy, if you're a brand new notary, it's probably going to be closer to 30 days because you're brand new. But what's nice about it is it starts keeping track of all of your expenses. When I first got excited, or when I first got my commission, I was spending more money than I was making between getting my commission, my $40 to take the state exam, driving to get my book, my oath of office, ordering my stamp, my insurance, my bond. All these things need to be recorded because these are all tax deductions. So you want to keep track of everything. But Notary Assist, once you get everything in here, it can automatically do recurring billing. So for example, if you've got AAA auto insurance and you pay for it monthly, it'll put it in there monthly for you. Or if you pay for it annually every September, like me, then it'll drop it in every September. If you've got your AT&T bill, set it up recurring. Even if you're not sure if it's going to be $40 this month or $45, set it up for 40, and then you can always edit it. It's much faster to go through and edit one number than adding a whole expense. So when you add expenses, we do the same thing. We ask you if it's for a specific type of work. If you don't specify the type of work, it's just for your general notary business. But if it's something like I had to pay for parking to do this particular notarization, you might want to actually apply that expense to that particular signing. So if I go to a signing and I'm adding a signing, see how there's an expense right here? This is going to be tied directly to this particular appointment. So if I'm having to do apostille, for example, if I'm an apostille facilitator, I might actually have to pay the Secretary of State. I might actually have to pay the parking garage to go up there and park my car that day. I might incur other costs. I might have to make a copy of it. I can attach all of the expenses associated with that particular apostille to this particular appointment. So I can make sure that I'm getting the fee that I need and facilitate that apostille for my customer as well, because you might have overnight fees, overnight charges if you have to facilitate it to out of state or to the embassy, wherever that document might be going. So lots of ways that you can actually see how much money am I making on this particular appointment. So that really helps you when you're trying to build out your fee schedule.
That's amazing. I had no idea there were so many features in here. I've been signing for a long time. I still so
it's all good. It's all
this
good.
is awesome.
I mean, we're just, my spreadsheets, I was bad. I told you I was bad at math. Did not do well with making formulas and the summations. And I looked at my numbers and the numbers would total up wrong. And I'm like, this is wrong. My spreadsheet's not good. My Excel was not working. I had to modify. And it's funny because when we first made this, my husband made it for me. He just made it for me to use to keep my business organized. And then I just saw an advertisement for the NNA conference and that they needed vendors. And I was just like, I did a thing today. I signed up for a table and we're going to sell this to other people. And he's like, no, I have to build this differently. I'm not ready for that. Well, we got ready. It was so, and that was basically back in 97, was at 2007. 2007 is when we opened up our first little table and we sold our first copy of Notary Assist, and it was on a CD, y'all. It was like on a CD. It was one and done. Most computers don't even have a CD drive anymore. I mean, so Notary Assist is grown and modified and changed over the years, but we love it. It's our little baby. It's our little software baby. So
I think it's really cool.
That's awesome.
we love it, and we love sharing it with y'all.
I think it's really cool that you're able to do other businesses or other niches besides just your like loan signing work or general notary work. That's very cool.
Absolutely. It helps. That's what I had to do when I was a full-time notary and mom, so there's like, moms are always full-time, that's just, so my side hustle was my notary business. But when I had to, when the spigot turned off in like 2008 and there was just nothing. I mean, I went from doing loan signings every single day to, okay, I need to like kick over every rock and find every escrow officer I'd ever worked with and go, hey, what's going on? What's the matter? I had to diversify, and I wound up diversifying into healthcare directives. I was lucky and fortunate enough that I gravitated out into like the trusts and that kind of stuff. I had a few attorneys that I knew, so thank goodness. But I had to diversify. And once we figured out that we had to diversify, and it was funny because we saw this pattern repeating and coming up. Oh, I guess I could stop sharing my screen. We saw it. Did I stop share? Did I stop share?
Yeah, it stopped.
Oh, okay, good. I'm like, did I stop share? When we saw that pattern repeating, I was like, oh my gosh, we got to build this out because there's so many notaries that are active right now. They probably haven't been through the 2008. The 2008 people that went through 2008, there's less of us. So they didn't know. And I was like, let's do this. Let's build this out. And I had a lot of help from my notary community colleagues, and we kind of put our heads together and we were like, okay, what can we do? And I was super jazzed to be able to share this and hopefully keep other notaries in the industry longer, because it is a great revenue stream. It's so awesome. I love doing all the things that we do.
Yeah, it's definitely eye-opening to see how you can have a solution all in one place. And I encourage all of you that's on today's call and anybody that's seeing this recording in a future date to really consider using this software for your business, because this is what's going to help keep you guys on track. This is what's going to help you with your accounting to know if you got paid or if you still need to be paid, if you cashed your check, etc. So if you guys didn't see, we did put in the chat the link for Notary Assist. Please use that link for today. And Sue could not attend retreat, but she did send some little swag for everybody that will be in our swag bag retreat. So yes, thank you so much. So, and we will have a little extra something in the swag bags for anybody that attends retreat from Notary Assist. So look forward to that as well.
Yes, some goodies, some goodies. I'm sending hugs because it'll be a great retreat. I'm sure you're gonna learn, you're gonna learn, you're gonna collaborate, you're gonna grow. I love it when notaries get together because that's what it's all about.
Thank
And-
you, Sue. We really appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And
Thanks so much for having me today. I'm so excited.
it was fantastic. Before we end today, does anybody have any other questions that they would like to ask? I just want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered if there's anything else.
And if not, you've got my contact information. If they reach out to you with a question that they didn't get a chance to ask, or maybe they're watching this at a future time and we're not online and you get a question, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you so much. Yep,
My pleasure.
everybody's just thanking you. So no more questions, and
Yay.
thanks for spending your morning with us. It was fantastic, and I hope everybody signs up as soon as you end the meeting.
Woo! Love it. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great retreat. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, Sue.
Bye.
Bye.